What? Can you hear me? Babaloo, babaloo. Can you hear me? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. 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 That's good. That's good. Test, test, test.
China.
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 Can you hear me, China? China, come in.
China.
Japan.
Japan.
Mexico.
Mexico.
China.
China. Mexico.
Mexico.
I love China.
I love China.
I love China.
I love China. I love China.
I love China.
I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. I love China. China.
China.
China. China. China. China. Japan. Japan. Mexico. Japan. Japan.
Mexico. Japan.
All right. Hey. All right. All right. That's the show. I'm going to be getting out of here pretty soon. I just want to come in and do that. And, hey, welcome back to Night Talk Live. My name is Midnight Mike, and tonight I'll be talking about flying creatures in North Carolina. I'll be talking about other monsters in the Chicago area. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the Mothman sightings in Chicago. Well, there's a lot more Chicago monsters than first let on, just recently. Talked about some Bigfoot, big feet in Chicago and the surrounding area. There's been various UFO sightings in Chicago over the years, so apparently Chicago is just a hub of paranormal phenomenon in cryptozoology all over the place. Chicago, of all places. The Windy City is happening. And I will also be talking about, there's a new Bigfoot movie coming out. It's not like a documentary or anything like that. It's not it's a fictionalized account of something that's happening. I don't know. I don't like fictionalized accounts. I mean, if you're going to do a thing about Bigfoot, make it real. It's already creepy enough. But, all right. All right. This is Night Talk Live. And thank you for listening and indulging in this insanity. I do a normal podcast during the week called a normal podcast. It's not a normal podcast, but I do a podcast called OBDM, Our Big Dumb Mouth, and it happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And we've been doing call-ins, and this show will be a call-in as well. Meaning that, hey, just because I got topics up there doesn't mean I can't stray from the course a little bit and talk about what you want to talk about. And you're more welcome to give a call in, 614-388-9109. And as always, I'll be mostly happy to take your calls.
You're an asshole.
Mm-hmm. I am. Oh, yes. Before I get to some of the stories that I mentioned up front, some of the topics at least, just a quick aside. I did not watch the Super Bowl last night. I watched the halftime show with my girlfriend. We were watching another show called Altered Carbon on Netflix, which is, by the way, awesome. Go check it out. It is a futuristic detective series on Netflix. And it's kind of what I wanted, probably a Blade Runner 2047, 2049 to be, something along those lines. It has a little bit more action. It's not as slow and as plotting. It's not that I didn't like Blade Runner. I liked it fine. It was a great science fiction flick. But this Altered Carbon is done very well, and I think you all will enjoy it. But when it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show, I didn't pick up on any of those Illuminati things that we've all come to know and love, with like exploding volcanoes and pyramids and lions. There was no like overt signaling to the Illuminati. And I know this was a big one because there's a lot of chicanery going on around this. If you visit Reddit conspiracy as often as I do, you know, everyone was kind of like, hey, what's going on here? Oh, it turns out that the stadium doubles as a FEMA camp. Someone left the security detail on a plane. This whole thing was ripe for something going bad, but it turned out to be quite just a regular show. Justin Timberlake did a fine performance. He's a man's man, I guess. He was wearing like a little scarf, a little bandana, red bandana. And he had like he was dressed like he was going hunting. I don't know if anybody caught that, but Justin Timberlake was dressed like he was going like hunting. Like hey, I got my 12 gauge. Let's go hunt a buck. He was dressed like from anybody from Ohio or Kentucky, or anybody like in the flyover states. He was dressed like that. I think that's a new style for guys, at least according to the GQ magazines that I read. So, no Illuminati symbolism. If there was any, then I didn't pick up on it. That's not really my forte. It's hard for me to keep up with that symbolism. But someone who does keep up on that is Jay Dyer. He understands that kind of occult practice and symbolism, and he will be on the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast this coming Wednesday, and I believe he will be taking calls with us and hanging out for the majority of the show. I think that'll be fun. I think so. I know Jay has a big video up right now where he's criticizing Jordan Peterson. I think he's probably getting some hits over that. I don't know exactly what he's criticizing Jordan Peterson for or over. He put out, I mean, I suppose if you have a criticism for somebody, you could put out like a really concise 5 to 10 minute video, and that's that. But I think Jay Dyer's video is like an hour. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
China.
Yes, China. Thank you, Trump. That's my cue to move on to the first segment. Dinosaurs flying in North Carolina.
You blew it!
I didn't blow it yet. The show is just starting. So I'll bring this up on screen. Let me see if I can do a nice little transition here. Come on, get over here. Boom, pow. And that is our first story for tonight. Are there flying dinosaurs in North Carolina? One woman says she's seen them 3 times in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, when I saw the story, it instantly reminded me of a call that we had maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. A girl called in saying that she had a cryptozoological experience in Northwest Virginia on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania, right there. That little finger right there that dips in between those two states. And she experienced something out there. And I think maybe I'm misremembering, but I could have swore she said that she had another experience in North Carolina. So I wonder if she is this woman. I don't know. If she's listening, call back in, clarify. I don't want to misrepresent what you said. But when it comes to this, in Raleigh, a cryptozoologist, Jonathan Whitcomb, specializes in creatures that do not plausibly exist, including mythical beings such as Yeti, Big Feet, or Whitcomb's specialty, modern day dinosaurs. This guy, if he's got a specialty in dinosaurs, modern day one, I want to talk to this dude. As the self-described modern day plesiosaur expert, plesiosaur expert, maybe a winged dinosaur. The Utah-based author is circulating news in running websites that describe encounters with the prehistoric flying reptiles that scientists classify as thoroughly extinct. In his collection of plesiosaur sightings, Whitcomb counts 9 in North Carolina, including one winged beast that appeared in Raleigh only last week. And this news story is from the 11th of January, so not that long ago. And it said it had a long tail with a diamond-shaped bulb on it, said Cynthia Lee, 20, who spotted the mysterious thing at a North Raleigh bus stop. It was dark brown, she said. It had a weird chest. I drew a picture of it. Dismissed as lunacy by paleontologists and other academics, Whitcomb's work is still finding currency, at least online. My associates and I believe that these are non-extinct petrosaurs. Am I saying that? Petrosaur? I think that's how it says. He wrote in his release to the News and Observer what many persons would call pterodactyls or pterodactyls. I guess pterosaurs, pterodactyls, or flying dinosaurs. He's going on record with this, and there's a video right here, I believe, of with him talking about this. I guess I should have to pay this, or I have to play this right now. What is he saying here? He says dinosaurs are not extinct, and he offers a photo and a physicist as evidence. Okay, I guess we'll indulge and play this right now. All right, let's. I hope he doesn't bore me. He might bore me after this commercial.
What started as a passion to make something original,
why would they?
Has grown into an enterprise. That's why I switched to the Spark Cash Card from Capital One.
Commercials now before this. If they're discounting his work, and this whole entire article is basically undermining this person's thoughts and opinions on cryptozoology, why are they running a commercial? They don't believe in what he's doing. I guess they just want hits. They just want to sell ads. Look, they got ad inventory. Come on. Here we go. Aha! Cryptozoology today. Would you believe that Bigfoot exists? Would you like to meet Bigfoot? Bigfoot is voting in your elections. He must be stopped. Is this all the video is? Is this these kind of like music like this? If you're looking for evidence, oh, here he is.
I completely agree with physicist Clifford Pike, California. This photograph is now called PTP. Is a genuine photograph, authentic, not a hoax.
I'll pause it on the screen. This is the video. This is the photo. He's saying this is a genuine photograph. It's not a hoax. It's not a hoax. But I'm looking at this photograph, and I'm saying right off the bat, this looks photoshopped. These guys look cut out. The blurring of this thing doesn't match the blurring in background. Like, there's a lot of, like, when it comes to foreground, midground, background, things, a lot of things are not adding up with this photograph right here. I mean, I'll break this motherfucker open. Take a look at that. Does this photograph look plausible to you? And I know it's a little pixelated right now. Let's see what he says. Why is it genuine?
Photograph. It's a genuine photograph of a real animal. Apparently a pteranodon, but we don't claim it has to be that species. But obviously, this is an extant pterosaur. And we have reasons.
Pterosaur, my bad. I was calling him petrosaur, pronouncing the P, the silent P, big no-no in dinosaurology.
Believing that this photograph is genuine. Clifford Paiva and I came to an agreement in the middle of January of 2017.
You're on the air. Welcome.
Welcome. What is up, Mike? Teddy Spaghetti.
Hi, Teddy. What's going on, pal? Are you watching this person talk about these pterosaurs and flying dinosaurs that are reported to still be in existence?
Yes, I am. It kind of goes with the whole Thunderbird legend of the Native American lore. Now, with this photograph, if I remember correctly, there was like a real one, but it's lost to history, and the one we see now is a remake. Well, that's how I remember hearing it.
That very well could be. Like the photograph he's showing on screen right now, I have a hard time buying it. It doesn't mean it's not real. I just see some obvious kind of glaring details where there's some sharp edges, where there should be some blurs. I mean, we're talking about if this was taken, I'm seeing like Civil War era cavalry kind of uniforms. So the kind of photographic equipment they had back then was obviously analog, long exposures, so everything kind of had a natural blur to it, which I'm not. I guess I need to see the actual photograph.
Yeah, because dead people look so much clearer back then because they didn't move a wink.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, but that's the thing. I think the photograph, the legit photograph, and like I said, it's been a while since I even dove into this case, was lost to history. And what we see now is a remake of this photograph. And also, if I'm correct, I believe it was also, this photograph was used in a Fox show about 12 years ago or 10 years ago called like Freaky Fridays or something, where it was like they were crypto hunters and shit, and this was one of the topics that came up on it, and I believe it was the same photograph, and this is why we may have this photograph today.
Look, I can definitely buy that. Like, I'm not discounting it. Like, I buy that there are flying creatures. There's been enough eyewitnesses to come out and talk about this kind of stuff. Whether or not this photograph of these 7 or 6 gentlemen standing over top of it, like they killed a lion, like as some kind of trophy. If this is genuine or not, I don't know. I'm gonna go with my initial instinct that it looks photoshopped in some way. How it's printed. I want to see. I would love to talk to this guy, and I've been told in the chat this guy's been around for a while. So, I'm on board with it. I want to see something a little bit more clear cut.
Well, I believe that this photograph is based on something that probably did happen. Of course, we don't have the evidence for it, and there was supposed to be another photograph of a pterosaur hung up like against a barn wall, and people standing in front of that. But that photograph, people remember seeing it, people recounted seeing it, and the news, you can't find it today. It's like one of those stories. It's like, did the Smithsonian confiscate all the newspapers and proofs? You know, how far does the rabbit hole go, or are we just kind of wanting to believe? I kind of think there's something to it. There's also that report of that little boy who was, like, picked up by a pterosaur, and his mom, like, spotted it and, like, saved him from becoming 4'11" by a fucking pterodactyl.
Yeah, I have a picture of something up on the screen right now of a pterosaur, and I apologize for mispronouncing it earlier. It's hard with those silent P's. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
It will get me every fucking time.
Bitches.
Yeah, they really are. Look, and there's a couple different pictures on the web when it comes to, if you type in pterosaur and then barn, there's some different ones up on the web. And
that one by the barn wall that you're showing right now, I believe that was the other one, but I think that's also a remake. Because like there was a time I went into this, and all I could find was every picture that we have now are recreations of pictures that did exist, but nobody can find the original. And that's what pissed me off with this subject. It's like I want the original. Although that one you're showing right there it's hung up. I think that might be the original, or what they explain the original looked like. Because there's lots of different stories and lots of different photos, but it's so hard for people to find the origin, the original picture, the negative, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt that the Smithsonian knows a lot more than they're letting on when it comes to even giants, like giant humanoid creatures that we've talked about many a time on this podcast, and giant bones that are discovered either near burial grounds or burial mounds, various rock and stone sculptures throughout the Americas, and that just, I think, gets grabbed and shoved in a corner in some museum, and it's never talked about because it disrupts the normal history that people have come to believe about the world.
Yeah, I can agree with that totally. I think actually it's my second favorite theory to 411 is that these giant bird things are just scooping people out of the park. My first favorite, of course, is the universe re-rendering itself when it's just a lone observer. But I like the pterosaurs as like a close number two. That would make a lot of sense in how these kids are getting up mountains and shit with just their skull caps left.
Well, when it comes to missing 411 and people being abducted, to scale a mountain, if you're being picked up out of the sky and dropped on a mountain, that would do it from a winged creature, a pterosaur or some kind of, pterodactyl. God, that would be horrifying. But at that point, the one I have on the screen here is, I would say, a wingspan of at least 16 feet, maybe 18 feet. That it could be actually 24 feet, like maybe four large humans across. That's insane. How would you miss that in the sky? I would say you wouldn't.
Yeah, that's easily 16 feet with 8 guys standing in front of it like that. That's easily 16 feet. It probably is more around 20. Shit. Yeah, you miss it because you're not looking for it. It's like that whole, if you don't expect something there, I think there were stories like how the Indians never saw these big boats on the sea when they were looking out to the ocean because they weren't looking for these dots on the horizon. And by the time they see the ship, it's already too late because they're not trained to spot the pattern. Because to like the Native Americans or the Mesoamericans, those patterns weren't trained in their brain, so they never saw these galleons, whatever they were called, the conquistadors bringing it over until it was already upon them. So it could be the same thing with these pterosaurs.
Yeah, Joe and I talked about that on the last podcast about how the Native Americans or Native South Americans were unable to recognize the ships. Someone traced that story back to Cook's adventure and questing in Australia, but I buy it. The mind can only recognize and see what it wants to see. The same with if you read Chariots of the Gods by Zachariah Sitchin. People attributing what we would call a UFO sighting, but they described it as a fiery wheel in the sky. Not that much different.
Wheels within wheels and 4 faces and all that crazy stuff. It sounds nuts. But how else could somebody explain it from their point of view?
They just go with what they know at that point, yeah. Oh, boy, there is a secret history that is being kept from us, and that's why this cryptozoology stuff is so interesting to me, because I believe it's denied history, but it keeps popping up. Keeps happening that these events happen. People are witnessing them. News people do recognize and report on it. At least with the Mothman stuff in Chicago, there's over 70 sightings, and then 3 when it comes to this North Carolina sighting of this pterodactyl. What's that called? A parasaur or a petrosaur?
I think it's pterosaur or pterodactyl. I think the P's are silent in both of them. I'm not sure on the pterosaur one, but I believe the P's silent on it.
Yeah.
I've heard petrosaur too, so I think people say it both ways.
I've been. Look, I can't read. I can't speak. So I mean, hey.
Hey, I'm in the same boat, man. I spell like a 4th grade level. I can read okay. My spelling's horrific though, so I get you, man. I understand it.
It is amazing that I managed to hold down a career as a programmer and I cannot spell or read. So, hey, Teddy,
it's math, though, right? It's just a way of thinking. Yeah. Just blow me up, brother.
Thank you very much for calling. Bye. There he goes.
Okay, thank you for your call.
There he goes. The more anyone keeps diving into these topics of cryptozoology, especially flying beasts, and then you ultimately will get back to some sort of giant humanoids or giant bones in general, giant skeletons, and then you'll travel down the roads like, oh, this can't possibly be real. Then you'll come across news clippings from the late 1800s about how various graveyards or not like a formal graveyard, but a group of bones were found that are much larger than what is commonly possible. Then Smithsonian will be involved, and they'll come grab the bones, and it's never heard from again. It is like there is some sort of secret history of humanity that is just not being talked about, and it's purposely being kept from us in a very meticulous way, where you're called stupid, you're called naive. They'll write you off as some kind of alien Bigfoot believer, and you're laughed at and ridiculed, which is their right to do. But there's enough eyewitness accounts, there's enough anecdotal evidence, even when it comes to newspaper clippings, that it should warrant a further investigation. And what does this Smithsonian know at this point, and what do they have locked away that we just aren't able to see because we're just the average stupid public who just want to know what the true history of humanity really is? Kind of sad. I guess we could assume what the damage to society would be if we found out that, oh, by the way, a giant race of Goliaths did live during biblical times, And yeah, you know, the Anunnaki and the story of Jesus and all those prophets was pretty much real, but there is an extraterrestrial or some sort of other outer worldly kind of interaction that explains it all away, but we can't talk about that. Giants are fictional. Don't ever believe it. And because if you keep once you open up the thing about giants and open up that door, it's gonna go down a rabbit hole. Like, oh God, people are gonna keep asking questions and they're gonna wonder where they came from. They're gonna ask, like, is my grandma a giant? Yeah, who knows? Everyone's a giant at that point. But I would like to know more, and I don't know if I can listen to this guy talk about it. Maybe I'll give it a little bit more.
But the photograph, now called PTP, is an authentic photograph. It's with a genuine image of a real animal. The head of this animal appears to be like a pteranodon head. We don't claim that it has to be that species of pterosaur, but we do say that this is evidence for an extant pterosaur living in the 19th century. Why would we say that this has to be genuine? Well, the preponderance of evidence is that this is an old photograph. When we look closely under the beak, we see an apparent branch used as a prop to hold up the soldier's foot and also the beak itself. This is typical of photography from that time period before about the year 1870, when people and objects sometimes needed to be propped up so they wouldn't move during the photograph. We also see evidence in the photograph itself. Paiva has shown us that there's evidence of muscle structure in the curved neck of this animal.
All right. Well, this guy goes into some really goddamn detailed details. I want to believe. I really do, people. I want to believe in pterosaurs. I wish I could see one tonight. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. I want to see one, but okay, let's move on a little bit. We'll go on to maybe Chicago. See what's going on in Chicago.
China.
Chicago.
China.
Chicago.
Japan.
All right, Japan. There probably are some pretty incredible cryptozoology stories out of Japan. I probably should investigate that a little bit more. You know, it's hard to when you search for stuff on the net, and I've been using that new search engine, Search, SEARX, that engine, to do some of my cryptozoology and UFO searches, because it's really easy to filter stuff that Google and Yahoo and Bing would throw to the front. So by using searchx.me, I'm able to filter that out. I'll post that into the chat right now so you guys can use this. It's actually kind of worth your time to use. You can really customize that search right there. Okay. All right. Where was I? Oh, yes. Bigfoots and other creatures in Chicago. Here we go. And the title of this: Mothman isn't the only monster lurking in this state.
The brand new Nissan
and of course, let's play
now
commercial.
With available Nissan intelligent mobility technologies like automatic emergency braking. Now,
play commercial. Here we go. And you know what this video is? It's just text. It's just text in words. That's all it is. Okay, great. Son of a gun. All right, I'll just read it. Someone in the chat just asked, Mike, have you seen the video of the badger, I believe, in Yellowstone, but it's North America for sure, burying a whole cow? No, I have not. If you haven't, I'd love to see a badger doing anything. Just send it in. If you have a video of a badger burying a cow, wearing some pants or a dress, doing paperwork, I'd love to see it. All right, this article. Each state may have their famous landmarks and local legends, but after learning about the Chicago Mothman, we're currently more interested in each state's monster mania. For example, Chicago isn't the only city in Illinois to have a monster on the loose. In fact, Illinois is known to be a melting pot of odd creatures, from sea serpents to the abominable swamp slobs. I never heard of the abominable swamp slobs titled. I mean, I talked about Bigfoot's, going in and out of bodies of water, but I would never call them a slob. It's a little derogatory, if you ask me. In October 2017, the Chicago Tribune put together a field guide for the most intriguing monsters Illinois residents should be wary of. One such creature is the Enfield horror, a three-legged, bright-eyed beast first spotted in the 1940s and then several more times in the 1970s. Some who saw it likened it to a deformed kangaroo. Others said it resembled an ape. Another Illinois oddity is the Wolfman of Chestnut Mountain. It's not quite a werewolf, yet it's supposedly a wolf that walks on his hind legs and runs at high speed. The most recent sighting was back in 2010. This is what we call a dog man. And this is what happens when people write about things that they don't really research. If this author of this article just typed in upright canine cryptid, Dogman would come up. Dogman of Pennsylvania, Dogman of Minnesota, Kentucky, all around these regions. I have yet to hear of Dogman tales like on the coast. Dogman tales from South Carolina or possibly at Myrtle Beach. The Myrtle Beach Dogman. I have never heard of that. A dogman that vacations and rents a house out and just relaxes and barbecues. Have not heard of that yet. Most of the dogman sightings come from flyover states. This goes on to say, okay, fine. You probably want to know what in the world an ass is. It's A.S.S. According to John Keel, a mythical lore connoisseur who wrote the Mothman prophecies, the ass is a smelly alien who resides in swampy areas. We don't know whether to laugh or cry, according to this article. Well, apparently they're laughing. They're not taking cryptozoology very seriously. People might say, like, you make fun of dogmen, you make fun of time travelers, you make fun of a lot of different stuff. You make fun of UFOs. Why are you being so glib when someone else makes fun of it? Well, because I am closer to it. It's like someone making fun of your family. Well, you don't have a right to make fun of your family. I do. I can make fun of my family. I don't want these assholes who can't even distinguish what a dog man is versus a wolf man. That's where I take offense. You get close to it, you can make fun of it. You do, like, you live the shit, then you can make fun of it. That's fine. But I don't want these articles out there about this. Take it seriously. There's a lot of people who spend their entire life dealing with this shit. I'll make fun of them. I don't need this article to make fun of them. And if he's thinking of moving back to his West Virginia roots, he'll have to contend with the West Virginia's humanoid goat man and sheep squash, the 7-foot-tall, glowed-eyed flatwoods monster, the ugwe, and the bear-sized turtle. Ugwe sounds like a cute, by the way. So this is just kind of like a glib article that is very condescending to the state of cryptozoology in general. And I don't like it. I don't like what they're saying here, and I probably will not read any further. Yeah, I know they want to make fun of this shit, but there are real witnesses out there that have seen stuff that scared the fuck out of them. I like that a blogger has it all figured out. I don't have it figured out. I'll believe an eyewitness account. Now, where I do draw the line, like I love when people go on the record and like get in front of the camera and say, like, this is what happened to me. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what happened. What I don't respect is when like their voice is distorted and they blur out their face, like all those time traveler things I played from that Avid video channel, where everyone is from the year 9000, has a different version of the future, and they're coming out with a new time traveler every fucking week on that channel. Yeah, I'll ridicule that and make fun of that every day of the fucking week. But when it comes to your average eyewitness, and when it comes to cryptozoology, yeah, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, experience something in real life. All right. 614-388-9109. The phone lines are wide open. I thought I was expecting more out of this Chicago Monsters article, but no, it's actually just someone kind of making fun of everything. Which I get. You make fun of things you don't really understand or don't care to understand. I get it. It's fine. I'm not going to be on board, but I'll deal with it. All right. I will move on to my next bit of topic here, please. Can I transition? Where's my transition? Here we go. Yeah.
You're an asshole.
Do not fully understand.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right, we'll get to some more stories here. And something that Joe and I have not been able to get to very often have been the headlines. One of the mainstays of the OBDM podcast is that we would read down headlines from the week. And due to callers and the segments, we haven't been able to get the headlines. I might be able to read down some headlines tonight. Just talk about the current events and news in the past 6 days. All right, let's move on. So what I have right here for you is a movie that is coming out pretty soon. All right. It's a new movie. Hope you see it. Please go out there, support your local theaters. This new movie is called Primal Rage. There's an official trailer out. It's a terrifying Bigfoot tale hitting theaters nationwide for one night in February. How about that? It's only going to be in theaters one night. Holy shit. And it's going to be February 27th. It's coming up. Mark it on your calendars, people. Primal Rage. There is the movie poster right there. Oh, my God. That doesn't look like a Bigfoot mouth. That looks more like a dog man mouth. These movie guys didn't get it right. And it says, hey, today we are excited to release the new official full-length trailer for the blood-curdling Bigfoot thriller Primal Rage. I mean, maybe we'll do this. Primal Rage! We are also excited to announce that Phantom Events and Blue Fox Entertainment will be bringing the film to theaters nationwide for a special one-night event called Primal Rage Bigfoot Reborn. So where's this trailer? Oh, right here? Oh, is this trailer? Oh, am I going to be scared? Well, am I going to cry? Oh, I'm going to make fun of it?
For a year, a month, and 9 days, I've been planning this exact moment.
Yeah, me too.
I'm scared.
I'm scared too. I'm very scared. Oh, Chris, yeah, kiss him. Make out? You know, Bigfoot's watching you and jerking off.
What was that?
This Bigfoot pounding off in the woods. Oh my God, you fell in the water.
What are we gonna do?
We'll get you back, okay?
Have sex in the woods.
We'll just follow the river back.
Take off your shirt. Oh my God, that guy is ripped.
Flag someone down.
No one's that ripped in the woods.
It'll be easy.
That close up of the hand. This guy, this is big. This is like, you know, Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th got really mad when teenagers started to have sex. And so he'd kill them all. This is what Bigfoot's doing. This is like Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th he's Bigfoot now. This is all they're doing.
Guys, there's an exit on the road. Does anybody have a cell phone? But we're just trying to get back.
I'm gonna have to fuck you.
There's something in these woods.
Go!
creature lives in these woods. As ancient as my tribe remembers.
He jerks off on everything and everyone.
The legend says that when our chiefs die, their spirits come back. A creature took your wife.
All right. It's bullshit.
Oh, you're gonna kill a Bigfoot with a gun? Oh, you're gonna fight a Bigfoot with your fist?
It's gonna get you.
Oh, you're gonna get him? All right, I'll see the movie. It looks good. All right. Just sitting here joking around and goofing on it, but it looks pretty good. This looks bad. Mr. Al, you think that movie looks bad? That's better than the new Star Wars movie. I tell you what, this new Bigfoot movie, Primal Rage, better than The Last Jedi. Debate me on that, motherfucker. All right?
It's bullshit.
It's not. The new movie looks pretty good. The new Primal Rage movie is pretty good.
All right.
All right. Well, you don't think so, but I do. I'll be the judge of what is good and what is bad. At least for me, not for you. Bigfoot good? Sometimes Bigfoot movies as a plot for a horror movie, not so good. But I don't know. That one looks okay. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And, just to kind of wind things down, I got a few minutes to kill. I'll read down some headlines here. And 614-388-9109 if you want to give a call in and talk about any topics that you have on your mind. Not that there should be anything. You guys should be living a blissful, stress-free life. And everything should be fine. Now, here's a headline here. Stocks extend losses with the Dow dropping more than 300 points at open. Oh, my God. I think the Dow, the Dow right here plunged 1,100 points. It's the biggest point drop in history. Not good. It's not good. You know what that means, though, right, guys? When you have the Dow drop that much, the Ides of March. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about war real soon. All right. See, flights in Western U.S. may get delayed by massive military GPS blackout. Yeah, they've been doing military drills on the West Coast for quite a while. I believe since late January, and it will end mid-February because of massive military drill and GPS blackouts. So navigation systems, including those found in commercial flights, may be disrupted or jammed completely across the Southwest United States over the next couple of weeks. That sounds pretty bad, but do not be alarmed. It's not Red Dawn. It's just the U.S. Air Force and its massive annual Red Flag war exercise based out of Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, as reported by Warzone. So there you go. And yeah, Matt, I have seen Harry and the Hendersons, and that was a horror movie. It was pretty scary. Think about it. All right. Big military exercise going on. Operation Red Flag. Been going on every year. Here's another headline here. I wake up from nightmares. Why Whole Food workers are hating life. Why do you think Whole Food workers are hating life? Could it be that they just got bought out by Amazon? Possible. Would say so. And that's exactly what it is. Because I read this article. It's not because I'm that smart. Oh. They're upset. These workers. I won't read the article to you. But these workers are upset. Well, the Whole Foods workers are now upset because Amazon has come in and said, hey, we have a new inventory system. You must account for every fruit, every apple, every banana, every strawberry, every potato, every celery, every soup. They must account for everything. And they're very upset at having to do that. So they're counting everything. And Jeff Bezos is making them do that. He's coming into each store and ensuring that these employees are getting the inventory done at all costs. All right, here's another headline here. Was a space-based weapon or space-based weapons platform used against Hawaii in that ballistic missile warning we had a few weeks ago? You know, No Agenda has been having some pretty good shows as of late, and I recommend you check out their most recent one where they talked about Trump's inner circle during the transition into the presidency. They did a background check, or not even a background check. They just did like a lookup of their educational history. Very telling. And they also had, they mentioned in a Hawaiian observatory who had taken time-lapse photography of the area of Hawaii. And there was something that came out of the ocean. Like it was like a submarine surface-to-air missile that came out of the ocean as captured by the time-lapse photography of this planetarium and telescope that was right in the area. And right at the time when the fake or the false warning system came out of Hawaii. But then there's this article, was a space-based weapon used against Hawaii. So a lot of people are reporting that there was an actual attack going on or some sort of ballistic missile attack launched. Either it was some kind of test and it went live, or it was a test that just they didn't want to own up to. Probably it was some kind of secret test and of some kind of like anti-ballistic missile test system going on. They didn't notify anybody what was going on. The warning system came up. The guy put the warning out because he believed it to be real, because all indications believe it was real, because there was no upfront notification about a drill or test. And so he put the warning out, and then they said after the fact, oh, it was just a drill. You should have known. We do this every year. But I think there's one or two fall guys at this point. And right now they're taking the brunt of the blame. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Those lives will probably be ruined over this.
The shampoo.
Yeah, just get them some shampoo and they'll be fine. We know that. Shampoo solves everything. Here's a headline here. China to stamp out cryptocurrency trading completely with ban on foreign platforms. Well, that's no good. I mean, how is cryptocurrency supposed to expand and be a part of the world if China, who is a major player in the world, is going to stamp it out? Well, I find it hard to believe that China doesn't have like the biggest stake in Bitcoin right now. I mean, they probably have mines going on, giant server farms mining Bitcoin. They're probably doing this. I would say China's probably saying they're going to stamp out cryptocurrency to drive down the price of Bitcoin so they can mine it or buy it quicker and probably get the majority market share in Bitcoin. And then probably in a month or two, they'll sign on to it once they've gotten a big enough stake in it to where they can agree to regulate it or accept it as payment. Or they'll launch their own cryptocurrency at that point, which I see them trying to do, some kind of Chinese cryptocurrency that they'll trade on the open market, probably linked to BRICS, which is their banking system over there. But I don't know. They're not going to stamp it out. That's bullshit. U.S. city to experiment with universal basic income. I'll break this open. This has been a big thing lately. Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of the internet entrepreneurs have been espousing universal basic income for a while now. We talked about it. But, I mean, at that point, like, why? I mean, they can talk about it. I know they want, like, some kind of, like, government legislation around universal basic income. But Mark Zuckerberg's a billionaire. He can hand out income to anybody he wants. He could just literally go on the streets and say, here is $1 million. And granted, you probably shouldn't do that to a heroin addict. But he could do that. Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of these guys who want this to happen, they can make a difference in the world. And I don't know if they are. Maybe they're doing some charity work, but you know what charities do. They only give away like 5 to 10% of what they take in. I didn't play that because there was an ad there, and I didn't want to deal with ads. All right, the F-35 put through its paces in first Asia Pacific deployment. Oh my God, we're selling the F-35 to. Oh yeah, we are. We're not using it. We're selling it to other places. The F-35, which is $1 trillion slush fund, as far as I'm concerned, for the military-industrial complex. This fighter plane has been in production for years and had multitudes of problems. It's not being sold. All right, from Washington. Look at the skies above Gandia Air Force Base on the Japanese island of Okinawa, and twice daily you'll get a glimpse of the U.S. Air Force F-35 fighter jet taking off, only to land several hours later. Watch the base itself, and you'll see maintainers working round the clock to ensure the service of this newest fighter jets are ready to go. God, it seems like there's better planes out there they could be using for this shit. It's been about 3 months since more than 300 airmen relocated to the Hill Air Force Base, Utah, to Japan for the F-35A conventional takeoff and landing model's first ever stint in the Asia Pacific area. The first of the 12 jets arrived at the Kadena in late October for 6 months deployment, the longest period for the 34th Fighter Squadron has spent away from home. All right. Well, we can't use it. We can't. Our pilots probably do not want to fly it, so they're trying to sell it to these other countries as some kind of fucking awesome new state-of-the-art thing when it's just $1 trillion black budget project that is used to fund other things while they put out a shitty vehicle. I don't know. I guess I just don't want to believe in the incompetence considering how many awesome jets have been made. But who knows? All right. Well, it's just not going good. This F-35 is just not going to hang in there. Not for it. It's just not going to be how many years has the F-35 been in production or been trying to be produced? F-35. Let's just take a look. F-35. They got contracts. I think it started like 10 years ago. Hey, caller, go ahead.
Hey,
you're on the air. Welcome.
Way off on the timing then. Mike, this is Mike?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good.
This is Matt. Hey, you know what? I've been listening to the show. A friend of mine just turned me on to you. There's a caller I love. He calls in all the time. I don't know if he's a regular. I've heard him on a couple of ones. Bill or Strokey Bill.
Oh, Strokey Bill. We love him, yeah.
Oh, does he work for you guys?
No, he doesn't work for me, no.
Oh, not at all? So you don't... Okay. Could you get me in touch with him? Is there a way I can get in touch with him?
I can send you his email address. Yeah, if you email me at ourbigdumbmouth@gmail.com, I will forward you his email address. I don't think you would be against that.
Oh, awesome. I work for iHeartRadio, believe it or not. And I thought I'd, you got to find people where you find them.
Exactly.
All right, cool. That's awesome. Has he called in today? I just started listening.
He did not call in. He hasn't called in for the past few shows. I think he might be missing an action or he doesn't get notifications. Like, he's a dodgy dude. Sometimes he listens and sometimes he doesn't, but he's a funny guy, man.
Do you think he really had a stroke? Is that for real?
Yes.
He's not a bit?
I don't believe so. No, I've talked to him for quite a bit. He's a funny dude. I believe he actually had a stroke. Yeah.
Okay, so he sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, that's awesome. You know what? Okay, so you put the emails on the site. I'm gonna send you an email, and then you send me his info. Okay.
I will do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Mike. Keep it up.
Bye. There we go. Gonna get Strokey Bill some iHeartRadio money. Isn't iHeartRadio in bankruptcy? I should hire Bill, Strokey Bill. He might have better luck with me than iHeartRadio. Wait, look, I mean, as the show grows, and if there's anything I learned about YouTube, is that I should be doing shorter shows, like Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. He does 10-minute videos here and there. I do hour-long conversations where I'm just talking and rambling, and it stagnates. And I get that. I don't care. It's fine. The show will grow as it grows. But if we ever do reach 100,000 subscribers, the show is going to be completely insane and a fucking madhouse. Completely insane. It's not I can't keep it contained like that. I mean, you look at Anthony Brian Logan, what he does over there. He's very professional. He's got a good show. He does call-ins and that kind of stuff. But he doesn't drink. He doesn't deal with any of that kind of stuff. He's professional. I'm not. I'm a good time Charlie. I'm just trying to have fun and goof around a little bit. Fuck, it's Monday. It's Monday night, and I'm trying to have fun and talk about Bigfoot and take calls. So why not? Trying to unwind from a long day of programming. Fuck everyone. I'm sorry, shouldn't have said that. That's right. I will be winding down the show here very shortly because I need to take a shower. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to let the dogs out. And, if you want to get in touch with Strokey, give me an email at rbigdumbmouth@gmail. If you want to join the Slack, you can join the Slack at rbigdumbmouth@gmail.com, and we talk about various stories and goofing each other and all that kind of stuff. So it's a tight-knit community. It's a very tight-knit community we run here at OBDM. I have a good time doing this show. I really enjoy talking about all this goofy stuff. And if I wasn't streaming live, I'd probably be doing this exact same thing by myself talking to my dog. So might as well go live, put it out there, have a good time, and just enjoy life a little bit. Not take it so serious. All right. Make your bed. Yes, it is time to make... You know what? Actually, it is time to make my bed. I'm going to play a song. Play us out, and we'll get out of here right now, please. All right? Exit song. Getting out of here.
It's bullshit.
Not bullshit.
Ha, gotcha.
Thank you for everyone tuning in.
China. Japan.
I didn't talk about anything political or politically conspiracy or current events kind of stuff other than the headlines. Well, maybe next time. Who knows?
Because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
That is right.
Touched Elizabeth. Unbelievable, man. That's it. It's over. It's over. No control, brother. Man, I'm telling you, right? It ain't even started. You understand that? You understand that? I blame myself.
That's right, I do. I blame myself for everything. But I think next week, Joe and I have Jay Dyer on from. He was on during the Las Vegas shooting, a show that we did back in October. And he specializes in Hollywood occultism and symbolism. So we'll have him on the show on Wednesday. I'm sure we'll pick his brain and have a good conversation with him at that point in time. And this will be the audio only will be up on Patreon tonight. So if you want to subscribe, you can go to ourbigmouth.com, hit the Patreon. I guess for $3 a month, you can get the extra audio only. I'll send that the RSS feeds for anybody who wants them. I'm trying to grow the show, all right?
Shit!
I am. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should stop growing the show. Maybe I should stop trying to grow the show and start trying to grow a brain. That's right. All right.
You're a fucking mind control fuck!
I am.
I do not fully understand.
All right, bye, guys. I will talk to you next time. Thanks for hanging out and indulging in my lunacy and drunkenness. Bye.